So now for binary to hexadecimal, we can group 4 bits and replace this 4-bit equivalent by 4 bit by the hexadecimal digit. Okay, so let's check this. So if I provided with this number and we want to convert this into hexadecimal, so we can see here that there are 2 deficient bits, so I can place 2 zeros here. Okay, so if I place 2 zeros, then this becomes 0010 becomes a 2, and 1011 becomes is actually equivalent to 11. This b is equivalent to actually 11, and this again this b is equivalent to 11. Okay, so but 11 in hexadecimal is b, that's why it is being written b. So the answer becomes a 2bb. Okay, so this is my hexadecimal to binary conversion. Sorry, binary to hexadecimal conversion. Now for octal to hexadecimal and hexadecimal to octal, we have to use binary as an intermediate. Okay, there is no other method. Either we can use decimal as an intermediate or binary as an intermediate, but using binary is an easier option because we had seen that the relation between binary and octal and binary and hexadecimal is very simple. So if I want to convert this octal into hexadecimal, now this one, first I need to convert this 1078 into binary. So I am replacing this 1 by 3-bit binary equivalent. So 1 in 3-bit is equivalent to 001. 1 in 0 in 3 bit is equivalent to 000, and this 7 in 3 bits is equivalent to your 111, and this 110 is equivalent to your 6. So these are actually the decimal parts. So when these 4 bits, so these 4 bits, now I am going to decimal. This 1110 is equivalent to your E. Okay, now and here this 11 from here and 00 from here, if I merge these 00 from here and 11 from there, so 0011 becomes 3, and similarly this 0001 becomes 0010 becomes a 2. So 23E becomes the hexadecimal equivalent of this 1078 octal. Okay, and decimal to binary and octal to hexadecimal. Now going to hexadecimal to octal conversion. Again, we will be using binary as an intermediate. Now 1F0C is the number in hexadecimal. If you want to convert this into octal, so I will be writing these 1F, 0 and C into 4 bits separately. Like C is actually equivalent to your C is actually equivalent to your 12. Okay, so that 12, and F is actually equivalent to your 15. Okay, so writing this into binary, 12 is 1100. That 0 can be simply written as 4 zeros. 15 can be written as 4 ones, and 1 can be written as 0001. And now we can group these into 3-bit patterns. That 1000 becomes 4, and this 001 becomes 1, and this 100 becomes 4. This 100 becomes 4, and similarly this 111 becomes your 7, and this 001 becomes your 1. So resultant, we can check that 17414 is your octal equivalent of your 1F0C in hexadecimal. Okay, so this is given as an exercise to you. You can convert this 1333 into binary, octal and hexadecimal, and binary 111001 into rest of the 3. Similarly 703 octal can be converted into decimal, binary and hexadecimal. So this is left as an exercise, and the answers will be mailed to you, and in the answers will be posted in the full slides which are being uploaded on the Google Classroom. You can check it from there. So you can convert these and then match your answers with the content on the Google Classroom. So fractional part is something which we have not covered yet. So this 3.14. Okay, so let's suppose this 3.14, if we are dealing it in decimal only, just for fun. So this 3.14, 3 is having the ones position, so 3 into 10 raised to the power 0, and now this 1 is having the 10 raised to the power minus 1 position, and 4 is at the 10 raised to the power minus 2 position. So 4 into 10 raised to the power minus 2, 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 1, 3 into 10 raised to the power 0, and then simply adding this we get 3.14. Here, now the same pattern can be used for binary to decimal. So if 101011 10.1011 is in binary, so if I want to do this, convert this into a decimal, so I can do this like this 1 here is the 2 raised to power minus 4 position, and this one here is the MSB part, and it is at the 2 raised to power 1 position. Okay, and simply multiplying by the corresponding weights and then finally adding all these, we will get our final answer as 2.6875. It is more of computational part, calculation part, other than the main. The brain, you need just not need to use your brain that much. It is just a simple calculation. So for decimal to binary, if you want to convert 3.14579 into binary, so 3 can be directly written as 11. Okay, or you can convert this 3 by this successive division method. Okay, like something like this. Okay, 2 ones are 2. Okay, remainder is 1, 2, 0, remainder is 1. If I arrange these in reverse order, I will get 1, 1. So that's why it is here written 1, 1. Okay, and this 14579, you have to do separate thing. That means we have to multiply it by 2. 14579 into 2, I'll get 0.29158, and this 0 is important to me because this will be making my answer. And similarly, I am multiplying the fractional part by 2 again and again, and I am collecting the integer part from there. So in this part also I am getting a 0 as an integer part. In third stage I am getting a 1. In fourth stage I am getting a 0. You have to just remember that whenever you are multiplying by 2, I am multiplying by 2 this 16632 only. This 1 is not participating in multiplication. Okay, that we have to remember. And if you continue like this, I am getting 001, 001. So minimum 3 decimal places you should be able to convert. Okay, so this is your decimal to binary conversion. In similar way, you can convert octal to decimal and decimal to octal for binary. Wherever we have used 2, you can simply use 8 there. And similarly for hexadecimal fractional dealing, we can use 16 in place of 2. Okay, so this is left as an exercise. You can convert this, and again for answers you can check the Google Classroom. Okay, so now coming to the shortcut for decimal to binary conversion. First of all, you need to understand this, that there are some weights associated with these binary numbers. So the LSB, if I am using, it is having weight 2 raised to the power 0. That means 2 raised to the power 0 is equivalent to 1. Similarly, 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. 2 raised to the power 3 is 8. Okay. Now let's suppose you are going to market and you want to purchase something like that 5 kg of wheat flour. So 5 kg of wheat flour, and you are going to some shop which is having this wheat flour as a loose quantity. Okay, so you can have this. What are the weights that shopkeeper will be using? Let's suppose that there are only 4 weights, 1, 2, 4 and 8 kg. So definitely if you want to measure 5 kg, you will be using 4 and you will be using 1. So 4 plus 1 becomes your 5, and rest of the 2 weights are not used here. So 5 binary becomes 0101. Similarly, if you want to measure 9 kg, 8 plus 1. So here you can see for 9, this is 8 and this is 1. Okay. And similarly for any number you can check, and there is a super shortcut as well. Super shortcut is if you have to write this consecutive binary. So for consecutive binary, here you can see that there is an 8. For this 8, you can simply write 8 zeros Okay, and these 8 ones. Okay. Similarly, you can write 4 zeros and 4 1, and continue further 4 0 and 4 1. Here, then 2 zeros, 2 1, 2 zeros, 2 1, and continue further. Similarly, for weight 1, I'm writing 1 0 and 1 1, 0 1 0 1 0 1. That means I'm repeating in set of 1. Here I repeated in set of 2, and here I repeated in set of 4. Here I repeated in set of 8. So this is shortcut for these conversions. So now coming to the binary codes, there are gray codes, BCD code and accessory code, which we have to cover from syllabus point of view. So the gray code is a binary code in which only one bit change is allowed between any two successive gray numbers. These are also known as cyclic codes. These can only be obtained from binary. This we have to remember. So if we are provided with an octal number and we have to convert this octal into this gray, we have to first convert that octal into binary to obtain the gray. And to perform operation, we need to understand the XOR operation. So for that, I have mentioned the truth table of XOR gate. Although we will be covering these gates separately, and we'll be covering our topic of logic gates. Okay. So in that case, you can just remember if the inputs are same, like here, 0 and 0, both inputs are same, so output is low. Okay, and 0, 1, 1 and 0. In these two cases, inputs are different, so output is your high. Okay, similarly for 1, 1, output is low. Okay. So you have to remember this XOR operation. Now if I want to convert a binary number into gray number, so this is a binary number. These are two simple steps in which it can be converted. MSB is same. So let's suppose this binary number is, I have fed it in this tabular form. This is my binary, and if I want to convert into gray, so this 1 is being copied as it is from binary to gray. This is the first simple rule. And then to obtain the next bits, I will be using XOR operation between this 1 and 1. If I perform of XOR of these two numbers, 1 and 1, resultant will be 0. Okay. Similarly, if I perform XOR of this 1 and this 0, and the resultant will be 1. Similarly, for this and this, if I perform XOR, 0 0 XOR will result into 0. And similarly, if I continue further, I can get the gray number from binary. So you just need to know the XOR operation for your binary to gray conversions. Okay. And for gray to binary conversion, there is the rule position is a little bit complex, but we can understand this very easily. MSB is again the same. And now if I want to obtain the next bit in binary from the gray number, so I will be using XOR of this and this. If I perform XOR of this and this, okay. If I perform XOR of these two numbers and I write it here, so 1 and 0, XOR is 1. Similarly, if I XOR this 1 and this 1 from here, this 1 and 1 is 0. Similarly, if I XOR 0 and 0, I get a 0. If I XOR this 0 and 1, I get 1. And similarly, I can continue further. And in this way, I can obtain binary number from gray number. So why these are called cyclic codes? For this, we had made a claim here, this point, the first point, in which we had stated that in which only one bit change is allowed between two successive gray codes. Now coming back to this table, I have written these binary for 0 to 7 binary. I have written these 0 to 7 gray for binary equivalents. Clear? So these are my gray, which I have converted using these conversions, which I have already discussed in the previous slide. So if these are the gray numbers, if you check these two successive gray numbers, so these two successive gray numbers are differing here by only one bit here. these two positions and these two positions, these two positions are exactly the same. Similarly, if I check these, then I have these are the two positions which are different. Similarly here, these two positions are different. Similarly in the next two, these two positions are different, and similarly here. So between any two successive gray codes, only one bit change is allowed and rest of the number is being kept same. And this property holds for even for the first and the last number. Here you can easily see that the change is only here. In the first number there is 0 and here it is 1. This 0 and this 0 are same. Similarly this 0 and this 0 are also the same. So even between the first and the last gray member there is only one bit change. So if these 7 or 8 gray members are sitting on a round table, so this cyclic property will hold for all successive gray numbers even between the first and last one. That's why it is known as cyclic code. So BCD code is the simplest code in which we are just dealing with the decimal numbers only and writing each decimal digit by the 4-bit binary equivalent. So if I want to convert this 1 to 6 from decimal to BCD, so this 1 will be represented in 4 bits like 0001. This 2 will be represented by in 4 bits as 0010. This 6 will be represented as 0110. 9 will be represented by 1001. And there is no separate rule for these fractional numbers. I have just simply placed the fraction corresponding fraction in the BCD part corresponding to the fraction in the decimal thing. So if you want to check here, then I have placed this decimal at the exact location where it was in decimal. Okay. So this is my BCD, but BCD to decimal is a bit tricky. For the simple reasons, we have to, if we want to understand the rules, the rule is we have to group 4 bits and replace them, but the grouping has to start from the decimal point. Okay, so these 4 bits will be replaced by their decimal equivalents. So here there are only 3 things, so I will be adding an extra 0 there, and similarly there are only 2 bits here, so I am adding an extra 2 zeros here. Okay, so if I replace these 4 bits patterns by their binary, by their decimal digits, so they become as 697.4 here. But if you check this second case, and if I group these, like this 0111 is 7 and this 1001 is your 9, this 101, if I add a 0 extra here, 0101 becomes 5, and here if I add an extra 0, this 1010 becomes 10. But this 10 is not a valid BCD. Why? Because while converting BCD from decimal, we had used 0 to 9 symbols, and these 0 to 9 were replaced by their individual binary. Okay, now this 1010 is a group of 2 decimal digits, and while dealing with the decimals and binary BCD, we have to remember that the value cannot exceed 9. So if we can check the valid BCD range, it is 0 to 9, and for invalid BCD range, that means anything in excess of 9, that means 10 to 15, but they are in 4 bits. So these 10 to 15 will be considered as invalid BCD numbers. Okay. So these are some practice questions which you can perform. Answers are also mentioned there so that you can verify them, but steps you have to ensure. Okay. Now the accessory code, it can only be obtained from BCD or decimal. We have to just add 3 to the decimal digit and write its binary equivalent in 4 bits. So if I want to find the accessory of 53, then I will add 3 to 5 and 3 to 3 as well. So 5 plus 3 becomes 8, 3 plus 3 becomes 6, and the number becomes 86. And then writing these 8 and 6 into 4 bits. Like you can see this 1000 is 8 and 0110 is your 6. So this becomes my access tree. So like for BCD, the valid BCD range was 0 to 9. So the minimum access tree here will be 0 plus 3, that means 3. And the maximum access tree will be 9 plus 3, that means 12. So this becomes the range of access tree, 3 to 12. And the invalid ones are 0, 1, 2, and 13, 14, and 15. So these are the 6 invalid access trees. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of the first lecture.